Hi all, and greetings of the day. Very warm welcome to this fourth video of this ongoing series of the L&D Playbook. So let's get straight to the topic of the day today. Okay, so today's topic is about how do we structure on the functional oblique technical and behavior oblique team building and the leadership interventions. So a bit of longish topic, but let's get into this. So when we're talking about the structure of the functional and behavioral interventions, the very first important thing would like to ask you, how often do we see learning programs packed with the content but lacking impact? Isn't sounding familiar, right? Yes, a lot of time participants and management also says that yes, in the past also a couple of training interventions has been conducted. Very good content, but somehow the results has not been there or the impact could not be created, right? And why it happens is that because most of the time, the effective L&D interventions are not done with the right balance and the structure, blending the functional oblique technical skills with the behavior and the leadership development. Please understand this because this is the whole gist of the entire discussion of this day today. That most of the times we focus on, or the management focus on, or your L&D function, focuses on the technical or the functional skills on which the particular organization is working upon, on its business model. And what are the day-to-day functionalities are required to invoke upon the right performance of the individual. Now, yes, we do understand also, it's nothing new, which I'm going to say is that, we don't know that we are all working with people, be it the internal people or the external people. Everywhere, it's all people all around, be it the customer side or be in the internal people side. So the behavioral skills and the leadership or the soft skills, so as to say, becomes a very of the great paramount importance. And if nothing less, but also, or if nothing more, but at least not less than the functional and the technical skills. And that blending has to happen very beautifully. Now, we know all these things, but somewhere down the line, the right blend is not being made. So let's discuss quite a bit more on it, and then we will get to the point about the right blending structure. So first, understand these two pillars of the development, the functional and the technical trainings. So it focuses on the job specific skills. So we all know this about software proficiency or data analysis, engineering techniques, even MS tools, or some account people or the finance people working on Tally, or on so the software IT people's working on the Java, Python, or even the general people working on the Power BI or the presentation. Now a lot of AI related tools are also there. So the people, the guys who are working into designing, there are hundreds and thousands of tools spread across. So that kind of the technical competency is being is delivered to the organization using the right technical skills. And that is where the functional of the technical training focuses upon. It ensures the technical mastery and the operational excellence. So that is the end objective, that people should get hands-on experience on the technical aspect of that particular tool or the techniques or the skills of a particular technology or a function. And over the period of time, they work out on their operational efficiency, operational output towards adopting those functionalities or the technologies. It is always designed using task-based learning and the practical application. So all these three things are actually more or less interlinked, but just highlighted to describe more about the functional technique. And we know all these things, but yes, just to put down a specific pointers against that. Now, quickly on the structure, giving a structure is no brainer actually. Functional technical training, we know that what is the in what particular field a particular employee is working upon, what are the key requirements. We discuss with the management, we discuss with the individual. We also know that what platforms organization is working upon, what functional skills are required for that person to be adopted to a particular degree so as to render the services efficiently. Now, we can organize in-house training, outbound training from the external trainers. We can have LMS also, especially on the technical domain. A lot of LMS has been developed over the period of time, whereby a lot of content has already been produced. It has been recorded, and We can subscribe to those modules and learn the finer nuances of that technical aspect or the functional aspect of that training. And then over the period of time, we keep on working upon it. We hone our skills, practice it, and keep on improvising further. That's how. And it can be 1 day training, 2 day training, online training, recorded modules, as I mentioned. So those things can be organized based on as the organization keeps on moving forward and the people keep on moving forward in their operational delivery into their day-to-day delivery. Coming to the second important aspect of this pillar is about the behavioral or the leadership development. Now, this is where things become quite complex because all across people are different in nature. People are coming from the different backgrounds, different geographies, different language, different culture play a very important role because every human being is unique. And that is where developing the leadership skills or the soft skills or the behavioral aspect of these kinds of training becomes of a paramount importance for any person to rise in the career over the period of time. Because after a certain degree or a certain experience, it's more about the people management. It's how we deal with the people emotions. Because eventually we all deal with the people. Yeah, time will be coming that we'll be starting to accept the fact that we'll be starting working with robots also. But yes, human intervention can still never be ignored. So it focuses, as I mentioned, on the interpersonal skills, emotional intelligence, and the leadership behaviors. It is essential for cross-functional collaboration and people management. We already mentioned, as I had, that people who rise to the level of the CXO levels, they are more of the people managers. Certainly, they are industry experts. They know the finer nuances of the business aspect of the particular industry. So a CHRO knows about the people management, and also the labor laws and pay scales, market intelligence on the human aspect side of it. So that is where the CHRO plays the important role in terms of his or her function. Similarly, a CTO will follow up that function related to the technological aspect. But again, at the ground level, a CTO will not be working on on coding or filling up the data on the Excel sheet. That is so. But why the CTO is being made to the level of CTO? Because of the way the person can oversee the technical function through the human mind and interacting with a lot of human minds across. So how it is more effectively designed as a journey-based learning using 360-degree assessment, group sessions, assignments, and one-to-one coaching. So with this statement, I would like to emphasize a lot, especially on the leadership journey, leadership trainings designed on a journey-based solution rather than just one sporadic based solution just for the sake of example. So some manager comes to you and conveys or that yes, that person feels there are a lot of conflict handling between the team. Conflict is happening around the team. So you may say that, okay, let me get 1 day of a conflict management training organized by some third party or internal, whatever, right? And then we just tick the box that, okay, in this particular quarter or in this particular financial year, we have got 1 or 2 or 3 training tick boxed, got done. And yes, we expect that people have become master of the conflict management or team building or negotiation skills or whatever other soft skills are there. But it generally doesn't happen, right? Based on my experience of going through hundreds of training, conducting hundreds of training, and witnessing changes in the people and how people perceive those trainings, how they actually implement those trainings, it actually doesn't produce the result. And that is where sometimes management also are right when they question the impact or when they question the ROI of the money being spent on these trainings. This is where I always endorse and rather strongly recommend to adopt to the journey-based learning solution, where a batch of the participants goes through, say, 6 months long, say, MDP, which is a management development program, which is especially designed and curated for first-time managers or a little bit over the first-time managers, something like that, junior to mid-management level. Or maybe a 6 months to a year-long based LDP, which is the leadership development program, because that is where the detailed level of the intervention happens. multiple soft skills competencies the group sessions are being conducted over the period of time. Their 360-degree assessments are being done. We can also use the AC and DC stuff. Some assignments are being regularly given to them by the coaches and the trainers. And then in between, very deep, personalized, one-to-one coaching and intervention happens where people actually feel free to come up with the coach and in a very confidential manner and share their hiccups, share their challenges. A coach is being coach gets very deep into the human psyche and breaks the unnecessary belief patterns and the shackles that the person is going through. And ironically, that person is not even aware of those shackles. And that is where a coach goes deep down into the developing that person. Because even if so, the group session also has its own importance. But during the group session, a person may or may not feel comfortable to open up or raise some queries which he or she might be feeling sort of a stupid type of question maybe. But that question may not be stupid actually. But people shy. A lot of people are shy in nature. They don't open up during the group conversations, and that is where one-to-one coaching is very important. So, so this is kind of the behavioral and the leadership development journey we actually look forward to be incorporated and blended along with the functional and the technical skills. Further, with this particular slide, actually, when I was talking about this coaching thing, I would actually love to mention one important article which I had written quite a few months back about the coaching intervention. And it is actually addressed, I had, in my LinkedIn profile, I had addressed to all the HR managers or the L&D heads or the CXOs that do you ever wonder why even facilitating some coveted leadership training of 1 to 2 days for your management team doesn't produce a desired result, right? So just read on to find some crisp details on this latest LinkedIn article. It will just consume you 3 to 4 minutes. And to be mindful, please notice that this video watching will not be sufficient and will be incomplete without going through this article. So in this video, probably you'll not be able to click on this link. I've just mentioned it, but you will find this URL and the pinned comment of this video below this video. And my strong recommendation, please spare your 3 to 4 minutes on this article and you will get to understand about the coaching interventions and those details, why it is of the paramount importance along with the leadership trainings. Right. Thank you very much for this particular piece. So very quickly coming on to the structuring the effective learning interventions. So already I've spoken quite a bit about it, but I'll just take some few quick examples for you to blend on these things. That's starting with the business needs and the role expectations. So we identify critical competencies required for success in different roles. So both on the functional side or on the behavioral or the soft skill side, the critical competencies have to be identified. I believe that I had discussed this thing about in some past video as well. Aligning training interventions with the business goals and future industry trends. This I have always spoken about it. The business goals and the future industry trends are going to be crucial out here because that is where you also obtain the management buy-in to allocate that budget for the training interventions, what you are designing for the teams. So blend functional and the behavioral components. Just for the sake of example, a technical expert transitioning to a leadership role needs functional training in the strategic decision making and behavioral training in the influencing and communication. So any technical expert, because that person may be fully devoting and concentrating on the job, but every person is looking forward for the growth in their career. And the growth in their career only happens through the escalation of person's career to the management level. And in the management level, we all know it's less and less technical, more and more people management, more and more people oriented, more on the business side of the table. And that is where, the influencing and the communication as an art, and it's a skill which can be mastered. That is where this beautiful blend has to be incorporated, so as to bring about the best of the technical and the behavioral development. Further on this, there's one very widely spreaded 70-20-10 learning model. I believe that you all must be knowing about it, but just to quickly recap, that's 70% on the job application, 20% peer interactions and coaching, and 10% of formal training. So obviously, whatever the person tenure is, being spent during the organization, 70% is always on the job application, and that is where the desired results are being produced. 20% happens to be that during the interactions with the people, coaching, uh, peer level the coaching, or the mentor level of the coaching is being provided, and 10% is the formal training we impart to the individual for their overall professional and the personal development. So leverage adopting learning approaches, use a mix of workshop for knowledge acquisitions. So now those workshops can be aligned internally, can be aligned through the external facilitators. So we'll discuss about this external internal thing in the next video. Some live simulation and case studies for the real world application. So now with AI as well, we can obtain a lot of simulation and the case studies available at our fingertips. And this is where you as an L&D person can work along with the mid-management team to help them identify those case studies, which can be, some group sessions can be organized, every week. Maybe you can just take out 30 minutes and along with the management or the manager of that particular team, 30 minutes quite quick drill can be conducted on the learning intervention. So we can pick up one case study on a particular technology related stuff, or even on the leadership on the behavior side, and those case studies can be invoked upon as a group discussion or the role plays, and people will actually have more fun about it. And also, as I talked about in some previous video about on-demand training. So this is going to be, on-the-run training, while people are on the job. So they're quickly learning about those things. So these are the small initiatives which you as an ND function can invoke upon to make learning more fun, not funny, but more fun-filled, and help the team grasp more knowledge and look forward to the more developmental requirements. Coaching and mentoring for the leadership growth. This is I cannot emphasize more on this. If you go through this LinkedIn article, which I have mentioned earlier, you'll probably understand the crucial importance of this. So I'll not take much of your time on this. Finally, to conclude upon this particular video, and the call to action is about that L&D must integrate functional and leadership training for long-term impact. Cannot be emphasized more and more on this. Functional and the leadership thing has to go on in parallel, because we all understand we all are human beings coming from different background, different upbringing, different social upbringing, school, colleges upbringing. We have a different knack of responding to the different stimuli, and that is where the a proper responsive behavior needs to be inculcated, not become reactive. And those things can only happen through the regular behavior and the leadership interventions for the period of time. Obviously, the functional and the technical thing cannot be just ignored, because that is the key key role play of every individual, where the results for the business will come through. So any employee with the word manager and above in their designation is strongly recommended to have a leadership coach in person, right? This is very strongly recommended that every person with some management level of the position in the company should have some coach which keeps on guiding. Now that coach may be internal or external, doesn't matter much, but yes, some designated coach should always be there, where the person can go and take guidance from, right? So that's quickly about this particular video. I hope you like it. And I really call for, ask your queries, any questions. I believe you should be having some queries. Please share it across with us, and we'll be happy and glad to answer those things. Thanks a lot. Looking forward to the next series, next video of this. Thank you very much.